Crucial 13, you are appreciated. Shout out to you.
Get crucial.
I'm hungry. I need some bacon.
Look at this. Look at it. This is the city I'm in right now.
Have you guys ever been to the Comedy Store?
No, but we were trying to.
Yeah, listen, I can set that up. The Comedy Store is without a doubt haunted. If there's a place that's haunted in the world, it's the Comedy Store, because it used to be a mob nightclub and they've murdered people there. 100%. It was Bugsy Siegel's nightclub. It was called Ciro's, and in the 1950s, it was in the 50s and the 60s. Is that what it was? But
sorry, in the 40s actually.
In the 40s, yeah. But it's a famous old mob-run nightclub that Mitzi Shore took over in the 1970s. So the place has this feel to it, like it's been run, as an entertainment venue for 70 years or something crazy like that.
Isn't there a bunch of like underground passageways around there too?
There was actually an article about this house on Crest Hill. Here, Whitney Cummings sent it to me, so I'll send it to you, Jamie. But I almost bought this house in the 1990s. In the 1990s, they were selling this house that the Comedy Store owned right above the club.
Is it this one?
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the one that's connected to the Comedy Store?
Yes, there's supposedly a tunnel, because that's right above and to the left of the comedy club.
So this right here is the article that Joe Rogan is talking about right here, living above the store, which is what Whitney Cummings sent him. So let's read it. Stories from comedians who inhabited Crest Hill, the house above the Comedy Store, by Sean L. McCarthy, October 22nd, 2015. In 1976, when Mitzi Shore, the Comedy Store's owner and enigmatic doyen and mother of Pauly, bought the club, Crest Hill, as it came to be known, was rolled into the deal. From the front, the house looks kind of small, almost humble. The two largest bedrooms are on the street level, and it isn't until you descend the staircase and walk toward the back of the house that the three-story, nearly 5,000 square foot abode begins to reveal itself. The space widens and draws you toward its oddly placed alcoves, its nooks and crannies, toward those sweeping balconies, towards its secrets. Built in the 1920s, the place has a shadowy history dating to the days when the mob and the Rat Pack prowled the strip. At the time when Mitzi Shore bought it, the house, which sits on a cul-de-sac of pretty older homes elbowing each other for space, was vacant, and at first Mitzi did little with it. Then around the time of Lebetkin's suicide, she essentially gave the place over to the comedians who worked at the store. For about a decade, comics inhabited Crest Hill. Inhabit is the best way to put it, really. Some had their own rooms, some of those actually paid some token rent, but many more were just kind of there. To hang out, to drink, to do drugs, to talk shit, to crash on a couch or a floor, wherever, or to do satanic rituals. We'll just put that in there. There were 3 bedrooms, maybe 4, depending on what you call a bedroom. But that had little relation to how many people might be sleeping there at any given moment. No one can remember even signing a lease. I read like a bitch. The catalog of names is impressive. Dice, which is Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison, Jim Carrey, Marc Maron, Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, Yakov Smirnoff, and Bill Hicks, aka Alex Jones. Just kidding. All either lived there or hung out there between 1979 and 1989, the year I was born. Some, like Dice and Kinison, were around for more of those years than they weren't. Alan Steffen, a comic who was part of Kinison's Outlaws of Comedy crew and later the showrunner for Roseanne, never lived in Crest Hill, but spent countless hours there in the late 70s and early 80s. Comics were all of a sudden getting respect, so we could get away with murder, Steffen says. He probably means that literally. And we did, literally. Mitzi saw the store as a place for comics to work out and improve, essentially comedy college. Crest Hill, Stephan says, was the frat house. The place is more than an interesting footnote in comedy history. Crest Hill's glory years coincided with a massive stand-up boom across the country. In the mid-70s, you could count the number of comedy clubs nationwide on one hand. By the late 80s, there were hundreds. This group of comics, haunting Crest Hill, working the store, helped to create the stand-up business as we know it. In that house, these comics forged a style and, more important, a bold, anarchic attitude that still pervades comedy today. But this came at a cost. Maron, who showed up around 1987 and lasted 8 months living in a small room Dice had recently vacated, described his time there to me as a big, dark baptism. Evil. Now, before we continue on with what Joe Rogan is talking about, the underground tunnels. Now, if you guys heard a lot of accounts about, like, you know, the pizza shop thing, you know what I'm talking about, the comet thing joint, and then you hear about Voodoo Donuts and a whole bunch of other popular places told by a few celebrities who've actually came out against these cabals or whatever, I don't know what the hell to call them, these cults and stuff like that. Something they all got in common is they all got underground tunnels from the basement which go from one place to the next. You know, like the dude was talking about Voodoo Donuts, that they were able to get to places faster because there was like this, you know, these tunnels underground that they could transport from one place to another very fast. And you know, a lot of this ties into the, you know, child trafficking or whatever. Like, this is all entertainment. You know, don't say none of this is like real or nothing. All of this is entertainment. Nothing in this video is a fact. This is just horror stories, spooky stories, however you want to say it. But yes, in this horror movie that I'm telling right here, the underground tunnels is how they, you know, traffic things from here to there.
Crucial 13, you all appreciated. Shout out to you.
Get crucial.
I'm hungry. I need some bacon.
Look at this.
Look at it. This is the city I'm in right now.